This is about looking panic in the eye. It was not long ago that I felt panic when night came on. I was too tired to do anything, and not knowing what to do with myself if I wasn't fully engaged in doing something. Like in the last few weeks, it seems that this panic at not being busy all the time, trying to keep busy, not feeling I had to do something, is kind of dissolving, and I'm not sure why. Perhaps because I have confronted it so directly recently, and somehow it began to give way when it's directly looked at. It's kind of the old nothing to fear but fear itself. And the words, quote, give way, unquote, quote, give way does not mean, what does that mean? It means just that. My resistance gave way when directly confronted and looked at to a much broader space, one with no edges and no end. The panic seems to have just evaporated, and I kind of feel launched, kind of like the spaceman, tumbling head over heels into a vast open space. A space with no leg to stand on and no ground. What now? Well, that's hard to say because it's all still so new. It's so spacious and vast that it's frictionless. What was that panic, and what was I pushing so hard against for so long? Equally a mystery. It's like breaking the amniotic sac. And it's not exactly like, to use a quote from Sir Edwin Arnold, the dewdrop slips into the shining sea, end quote. Yet it's kind of related because suddenly there's no circumscription, there's no boundaries, and there's no end to it. I'm reminded of the old Bible quote, knock, knock, and the door shall be opened, end quote. I guess we just sooner or later have to just go in there and remove our own obstacles. No one else is going to do it for us. This seems to be another step toward continuous awareness on my part. Awareness not punctuated with long vacations from being present in the moment. And after all, there's only one direction we can travel, other than backward. And Dharma realization doesn't and cannot go backward. Realization is only one way. Once we've realized something, we never forget it. So we have no choice but to work with our realization, or just let it stand there, let it go fallow. Every once in a while, I do get lucky, just like the old what is the old saying that even a blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while. So speaking of luck, I do have this short story. In 1997, I was in Nepal during one of our trips to Tibet. I was with Margaret and 3 of our kids, and we were on our way to see the young Karmapa, head of our lineage of Tibetan Buddhism. I'm not crazy about flying, I never have been, but I do it when I have to. Anyway, coming back from a side trip to Darjeeling in Sikkim, we had to fly in one of those very tiny planes, the ones with ultra-narrow wire-framed seats made from cheap tubular steel. There was no walk-on ramp to the plane or even a real ladder. We had to walk way out on the tarmac, and there was this tiny propeller plane. As we approached the plane, a flight attendant was standing beside the plane, there to literally, with a plate in his hand, to help us climb aboard, and he was holding a tray with cotton swabs for our ears and a piece of candy to make swallowing easier for altitude. And after everybody climbed on board, the attendant climbed on too, And to my amazement, it was the pilot. So anyway, a funny thing happened during the flight. I'm not a lucky person in that I don't win raffles, contests at games, etc. And everyone who knows me will tell you that I don't like to fly. I normally don't even travel at all, and yet here I am, flying across Nepal in a prop-driven plane with cotton in my ears. Then one of the flight crew announces that they're going to hold an in-flight raffle drawing, and based on one's seat number. And they selected my son, my young son, 12-year-old Michael Andrew, to pick the winning ticket. And you guessed it, I won the contest. My reward? A free ticket on this same airline for any place in Nepal. Talk about irony. I just had to laugh, but I gave the ticket to a friend.